¿Qué pasó, mi gente? It's MarkTip25 otra vez. You know who I am. This is my brother Mario. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. Hanging in there. How about you?
Doing all right, man. Just, taking it week by week. But I start back at work again, so that's exciting.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Yeah,
That's a good thing to hear.
I've been waiting on a call for a bit, but I finally got something going. And, I mean, it's going to be a little harder to do some videos, but I'm going to make sure I do as much as I can for these videos. I'm still working on a couple. And one for my other channel and a few for this channel, but that's neither here or there. Let's kind of get started. What we're going to start talking about today is about the whole situation with Kyrie Irving. He's been in the news as of late because of things that he said about not starting the season again due to the racial tensions, and he's been getting a lot of backlash for it. And it's kind of weird because he really shouldn't be, because what he said wasn't wrong. And for him to say that, oh, we shouldn't continue the season, we should really get to the bottom of this. I mean, those weren't his words, but that's what he was implying. Because what he actually said was, I don't support going into Orlando. I'm not with the systemic racism and bullshit. Something smells a little fishy. Whether we want to admit it or not, we are targeted as black men every day we wake up. I mean, he's not wrong, and I know there's probably going to be fans that are like, what does he know? He's a millionaire that plays basketball in the NBA. He doesn't suffer the same problems as regular black men. And it's just like, well, that's not for you to say. We don't know his life. We don't know what he goes through on the daily. And let's not pretend that NBA players haven't been attacked before. I think it was Thabo Sefolosha was actually attacked at one point. I can't remember when, but he was attacked by police once. And there's been a couple of other instances I can't name off the top of my head, but to say it's never happened or it wouldn't happen is really, really disrespectful to say at that point. But yeah, that's what he said. But a lot of other players, there's a couple players that are respectfully giving their side of it, but then there's a former player in Kendrick Perkins that's just talking shit on Kyrie. And then you have people like Stephen A. Smith who also just wants to talk mad smack on Kyrie. But yeah, the two people kind of in the middle of it are Austin Rivers and Ed Davis, because they gave their own perspectives as to why they should continue the season. But yeah, let's actually share the screen here real quick so I could kind of show you some. So Kyrie Irving does not support the NBA resuming in Orlando. Something smells a little fishy. And gosh, if only it would stop. Hello? Okay, he led a conference call on Friday consisting of over 80 players from both the NBA and the WNBA. He was being inclusive of all parties involved, according to Shams Charania, my bad. Sorry for mispronouncing the name. Became the first superstar to directly voice his opinion and opposition to restarting the season at Disney. I don't support going to Orlando. I'm not with the systematic racism and bullshit. And you know the rest on that. And as far as besides him, there were other players like Dwight Howard, who himself was on Kyrie's corner saying, yeah, we shouldn't do any of this. Like, this is still going on and we need to take care of this. There should be no basketball until this is resolved. Like other players like Donovan Mitchell, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Avery Bradley were also, major players in the call. They said that he was up in the air on potentially playing in the resumed season, but he wants to give young players a voice in making this decision, as he reportedly urged players on the call to make $25,000 donation to a cause they believe in. Carmelo Anthony from the Portland Trail Blazers was on the one team to vote no on resuming in Orlando. But there are other players that like wanted to resume for their own reasons. But yeah, so that's what he said. And in the past, Kyrie Irving has been a little bit, polarizing in the fact that he wanted to leave Cleveland, and then he was having problems in Boston. He first he claimed he was going to stay, and then he wanted out. And it's just, yeah, Kyrie is a very interesting person, but in this case, he's just wanting to, fix the situation. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, what is he going to do? But it's like, dude, that's for him to decide. There's another thing where he's considered like starting another like little league in place of this for the time being, but I'm not going to discuss that. That's neither here or there. But I just think people, because of his past stuff, like the stuff in Boston, the stuff in Cleveland, and then his stuff about being flat earther. I mean, I don't know. He is a little bit strange, but he's not a bad person. He has people's best interests in mind, and he's there for people. He's wanting to support people in this Black Lives Matters movement and make sure that systematic racism is, quelled. But there are other people on the other side of that completely disagree. Well, not disagree necessarily, but you have Austin Rivers, who, I mean, he disagrees, but he's respectful in it. He has a reason as to why he believes that the league should resume as is. The gist of the matter is, I mean, he was wanting to say that the NBA should continue, that you could still support the Black Lives Matter movement and help their cause while still playing, because this gives them a platform to use to shed light on this matter, like how Colin Kaepernick took the knee for the same deal. But that's just his opinion. I guess it's not appearing on the screen. I guess I could just pull it up with this. Okay, so he offers a rebuttal. Okay, we're starting the season. I love Kyrie's passion towards helping this movement. I'm with it, but in the right way and not at the cost of the whole NBA and the players' careers. We can do both. We can play and we can help change the way Black lives are lived. Like, and I guess the tweet here is a little bit more, or I guess the picture, this is the picture of the, I'm not certain if this is on, oh yeah, this is actually on Instagram. He posted this. He said, trying to find the correlation. As players coming back would be putting money in all our NBA players' pockets. With this money, you could help out even more people and continue to give, more importantly, your time and energy towards the Black Lives Matter movement, which I'm 100% on board with, because change needs to happen, and injustice has been going on for too long. But also, not to mention, there are plenty of NBA players I know who need the paychecks. 99% of the NBA hasn't made the money a guy like Kyrie has. Not to mention, NBA basketball is predominantly African American, and a lot of our audiences too. Us providing entertainment and hope for our kids is important. Also, keeping some kids indoors and watching basketball games on TV instead of maybe going out and getting into trouble due to the unfair and unequal environments of a lot of African American kids are placed in is important too. Not saying basketball is the cure for that, but basketball can maybe provide a distraction. On another note, not to mention the ramifications of not playing with the NBA, playing with the TV money, etc., would really put NBA basketball behind, possibly even canceling next year. I love Kyrie's passion towards helping the movement. It's admirable and inspiring. I'm with it, but in the right way, not at the cost of the whole NBA players' careers. We can do both. We can play and we can change the way Black lives are lived. I think we have too. But canceling or boycotting return does not do that, in my opinion. You guys want to play and provide help and change. So that's well put. And I think that was another thing that Kyrie also said, that it's a distraction, trying to distract us from the big picture, which it can be. I understand that. There is a lot of things out there that we see and do nowadays where it's all a distraction. But at the same time, I mean, it's not a distraction to the people playing the game. This is their livelihood. This is where they make their money. So I can understand Austin Irvin's, Austin Rivers' point on the matter. But see, like, he wasn't the only one that had that same mindset. It was also Ed Davis. Ed Davis from the Utah Jazz. He's another player that, like, I think he's a center, but he's kind of jumped around the league a bit. In an interview with Alex Kennedy of Hoops Hype, Utah Jazz. Oh no, he's a forward. My fault. Ed Davis opened up and shared his opinion on the thoughts that have been shared by Kyrie and Dwight Howard recently on how players should consider not playing in the game scheduled in Orlando due to that scheduled in Orlando to resume the season due to them possibly being a distraction to the recent protests. Davis candidly disagreed with his fellow players, noting that all players are not in the same position financially. And like, this is Ed Davis saying, it's easy for Kyrie Irving to say that he'll give everything back for social reform, but would he really give everything back? It's easy for Dwight Howard to say that we don't need to play when he's in Atlanta in his $20 million mansion. And it's true. I mean, there's players that don't make the same money as Kyrie or Dwight Howard for the time he's been in the league. Not everybody is the same. So I don't think it's necessarily fair for those players, but that doesn't necessarily make Kyrie wrong. Because overall, there needs to be focus on this issue. This is an important issue. Because at the end of the day, what's really more important than the lives of people? Basketball is a sport and it's something that entertains us, but there are lives at stake here because of A, the pandemic, and B, Black lives being tampered with, messed with, hurt, killed, all of that. It's just, there needs to be more focus on this. So it's not wrong to think that they should cancel the season for that reason. He's not wrong in saying that. But on the other hand, I can understand why other players don't think that should happen. But see, at least people like Ed Davis and Austin Rivers saw it on their side. They didn't just blast them and say, oh, well, these guys are idiots. I mean, Ed Davis was a little bit more blunt. It's like, well, it's easier for you to say because of the money you have or have made. Or we, on the other hand, have not made that money. Like, not all the contracts are guaranteed. All contracts are different. So at least they understood each other, but they weren't disrespectful. However, there have been people in the media as of late, like Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins, that have just been talking mad shit on Kyrie. And as you can see right there, this is what he said about Kyrie. He said, if you take Kyrie Irving's brain and put it in a bird right now, it's going to fly backwards. Like, what kind of bullshit is that, dude? Like, what president does that send to anybody, like, that's trying to find discourse in this matter? Like, you're not helping by being a complete asshole, Kendrick Perkins. Yeah, again, Kyrie is strange at times. He has said and done some weird shit that makes us all scratch our head. But this is not one of those moments. He's being open-minded. He's looking at the bigger picture. And we should not crucify him for that. And I think and I know I tend to, like, piggyback off of this guy, Rusty Buckets, because he made a video recently on the same thing. And so has B-Souls. And I'll post links in the description on those videos. But I feel as of late, it's just been one of those things to just hate on the guy for some reason. Everybody just wants to hate on Kyrie now. It's what's in, which I don't think is very fair or right at all. Because Kyrie Irving, although he may be strange, he's still an amazing basketball player, and he's still a good-hearted human being. So we really cannot blast him for what he's saying. So yeah, this is what Perkins said, is like, if appearing on ESPN's Get Up, the former Celtic blasted Irving for his recent commentary on NBA restart in Orlando. And then he said the thing I just said. Kyrie right now is confused. He's showing his lack of leadership. Here it is, Kyrie. You've been on these conference calls over the past 2 months. You're the vice president of the Players Association. You have been very involved in all this that's taking place as far as whether we're going to play or not. You've been on the phone and you voted to play. So I guess I understand where he's coming from in that regard, but he didn't need to do that, like say that other shit. He's not confused. It's like, yeah, a lot of people voted to resume the season, but what if he was not in the majority? You know what I mean? I don't think that's very fair. So you look at the situation at hand right now, what's doing is causing conflict and confusion between our players. What it's doing is making us not look as one, not unified, because all of a sudden we were told everyone came to an agreement that we're going to play, and then all of a sudden one guy's trying to ruffle the feathers and make noise for no reason. So I guess I understand where he's coming from. It looks that way, but that's no reason to like disrespect Kyrie, because he has a good, his intentions are well thought, okay? He's trying to look at the bigger picture, but everyone just wants to crucify him. That's just how it's been the past few years now. This is the same guy that about 10 days ago came out and said that he wanted to join the team and be in Orlando around his team. The agreement was that inactive players couldn't go because there were only a certain amount of people in the bubble. What changed over the last 9 to 10 days? What changed was, from what I strongly believe and what I heard, is the NBA and the Players Association told Kyrie that, no, you can't go, said Perkins. How can a guy's mindset change in 10 days? George Floyd was murdered on the 25th of May. They started protesting the next day. They started rioting the next 2 days. Kyrie's mindset just 10 days ago was that he wanted to go to Orlando. What changed since then? What changed was what they told him he couldn't go. But see,
wait a minute.
That Kyrie
couldn't go? What?
Yeah,
I don't understand
because
that.
they could only take a certain amount of players. But the thing is, Kyrie was injured anyway, and if he wanted to go, great. But see, why does that matter?
But
why does that matter? Yeah, why does that matter that he couldn't go?
He's still part of the Nets, and they made the cut. So I don't understand.
But he's injured.
Okay, so he's injured. That doesn't mean. But also,
they're trying. There's a certain amount of people apparently that you can take, because again, they're wanting to make sure they contain this so coronavirus does not continue to spread.
So they're going to tell all the players that are injured or are unable to play, and when the season starts up again and in the playoffs, to stay home. Is that what's pretty much they're saying?
I don't necessarily know if that's exactly the case. That's what he's saying. But again, I don't tend to trust Kendrick Perkins, because the guy says a lot of outlandish shit himself, and he flip-flops a lot. If you look at half of his tweets, he's such a fucking hypocrite. Like, the guy, he's not someone that you should really put your full stock in. He's just being a dick. That's just how I see it.
I mean, look, man.
He's in essence, he's literally adding insult to injury. Literally.
Look, I don't know what Perkins' deal is. I mean, I liked him as a player, but
it's because that fucking ring got to his head. That fucking one ring. You know what I mean? Like, really? That Celtics team only won one fucking ring, and they make it seem as if they're a dynasty. Like, calm the fuck down. And he wasn't even the best player on that team. If he wants to start insulting people, he should take a look in the fucking mirror before he fucking says anything.
Well, I mean, look, I have respect for Kyrie, man. I've always liked him as a player, and see how he's being active in his community to fight for a good change. And look, people need to understand, look, okay, so
oh yeah, and the whole thing about starting his own league, their own league, that actually was a rumor that was shot down. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of ridiculous to start their own league that quickly, just to throw one together, because the NBA may not continue to play, but that doesn't make any sense, because the board of commissioners and the commissioner and the board of governors for the league already voted that yes, it's going to happen. They already passed on the 22 team system to do a few regular season games, and then into the playoffs. So it's like, you know, I just don't. I just don't understand. Like, look, people make the decisions, and it can change, and that can happen. So you know, people can make a decision one day, and then later it's like, oh, they changed their mind. It's not, you know, it's not like some things may come up to where it just happens like that. So I don't see the deal is, look, if he chooses not to play, then that's his decision. But since he's injured, he can't really play unless he's able to come back, and come back to full health really quickly and come back to play. So I guess some people can take it as like, oh, well, because he's injured and he's not wanting to play, oh, then he's gonna turn around and say no, you know, to not for the league not to come back and play. As I guess some people will take it as like he's being salty about everybody can go back but him. They could take it that way, but I just don't think that's the case.
But see, people
Yeah.
can change one's perspective given what they learn. Maybe at first he thought, yeah, this would be great, but then maybe given the situation, the more he read into it and the more he saw what was happening with everyone, he thought, you know what, maybe this isn't such a good idea after all. But see, there's no problem with that. But it's just people like to shit on Kyrie nowadays because of his past behaviors. And even in retrospect, his past behaviors are really not all that bad as people make them out to be.
Yeah,
I mean, the only one that's a little bit stupid is the flat earth thing, but
yeah,
whatever.
well, I just look, you know, everyone's got the right to state their opinion and how they feel. And, you know, why would you fault them for that? Okay, so what? It's just, you know, the league, the Players Association came to a consensus, and they all wanted to come back and play. He can't do anything about it. It, you know, the players have spoken, and it, you know, it's been done. So, you know, he can say all he wants, but it's still going to happen. But to shit on him for voicing his opinion, you know, that's like, oh, he said this and then he changed his mind. Who? It's like, are you saying he's not allowed to, or is anyone's not allowed to change their mind? You know,
I guess,
like,
I mean, I can see what he's saying, like in the sense of, wow, that was just a weird turnaround, like such a seemingly quick turnaround of like change of heart. It's like, so what, dude?
it can happen, right?
You've never changed your mind on shit before? Give it, like, if you're presented with facts and you've learned something, you can't change your perspective? I mean,
Yeah,
I know, like, if I'm mistaken on something and somebody proves to me that I am mistaken, I listen, and if I'm wrong, I'm like, you know what? You're fucking right. I need to change my way of thinking in that regard
yeah,
and
dude,
be better.
yeah, it's all about
That's how we should be. But
yeah,
the thing is, like, yeah, there's a divide, but neither side is really wrong. Like, if Kyrie, even if, like, whether there was a supposed like limit of the amount of people you could bring or not, whether Kyrie was going or not, it doesn't fucking matter at this point. The league is going to continue. Players are going to, they need to get paid because not every player is paid the same. So it does kind of suck in that regard. Even though they are richer than we are, they still have bills to pay. They still have insurance, and they might even have other expenses that we ordinary people don't have. So that's just another thing that we also have to keep into consideration.
yeah.
And in some of these players, like, you know, even Dwight Howard and LeBron James, they came from families that were they had very little growing up. So they needed, you know, this was their ticket getting into the NBA. And that's important to them. So people like Dwight Howard understand why Kyrie is saying what he's saying. And that's why he sides with him. Because it's like, no, we need to fix this. Because he in his mindset, he doesn't want the same shit that he saw growing up to continue happening, to perpetuate, like with police brutality, violence, just continued poverty because of a broken system. That's what he's not wanting to continue. So you can't fault Dwight Howard or Kyrie Irving for believing in that.
No, I mean, I don't.
Well, no, I'm not saying you do. I'm saying like the people that do.
Right. Yeah. Look, everyone's situation is different. Like you said, stuff like this has never really stopped sports from continuing to it hasn't stopped any league or any players from continuing to play. That's why, in a way, I do agree with Kyrie that the system is broken. It's been broken for a long time, and it needs to be addressed and actually dealt with. But it seems like it never is. Everyone says, "Oh, well, we're going to fix it," but it never changes. And so he is right to a point, but and he also is right about sports in general. Yes, they are a distraction. They're supposed to be a good distraction to take your mind off of a hard day's work or something that's bothering you and to make you happy. But there's bad actors, nefarious people that use sports as a distraction to do things while people are not looking, and that is true. It's happened for a long time. You can go back to ancient Rome as an example, man. What do you think the gladiator games were? People would throw bread and give entertainment while people slideshow, while there was bad people doing things behind the scenes to destroy that once great nation. It's what they call bread and circus. So they use that distraction in a negative way, and he is right in that regard. However, for those that rely on the game, the sport, as their only means of income, especially for those that are just starting like rookies, they don't get paid much. Because I think I was reading earlier that the lowest contract salary is like 50 grand. That's it. And some people can get by on 50 grand a year and live pretty comfortably. But like you said, it all depends on what market you're in, like what city you're in, what state you're in, whether you
and
got
also
pay.
agent fees, dude. Like these people have agents they have to pay and shit.
You got it. Yeah, agent fees. Whoever agent you're with, also whether you have a state tax, and how high your property taxes are, and various other things that you have to keep in mind. So it all depends. So not everybody is like at the level like with Steph Curry, who is the highest paid player with like $40 million for the next 4 years or something around there. That's a lot of money. So for him, maybe he could, if they decided not to come back, he could afford not to, because he's making a buttload of money, along with a few others, to where it's like, okay, I can get by on my salary for now. But of course, again, you look at where Steph lives. He plays for Golden State. It's in California, and the cost of living in California is very high. And there's a lot of other things in California that you have to deal with, as far as other expenses go. So maybe even then for him, where you got to take into effect his state tax, local, whatever his situation is, maybe what he's getting may not be enough. I'm not. Now that's an extreme, because even for what he's making should be enough for him to get by and then some. Like you said, all the players are not as, especially rookies, and even players that are not superstars.
Like vet minimum, yeah.
Yeah, they get the minimum.
Even two-way contracts, because those are another thing. Like those are like minimum contracts that don't, because there's like 10-day contracts, two-way contracts that just kind of, it's a little complicated to explain right here, but yeah, they're not fully guaranteed contracts.
Right. So I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, activism and sports have always coincided. So,
look at Bill Russell, man.
Yeah.
Bill Russell would have agreed to half the shit Kyrie is saying. You know what I mean? Like Bill Russell, I mean, he Jim Brown as well as other like athletes fought hard during the 60s for civil rights. So what Kyrie is doing and saying is not wrong, and
No.
fans need to understand that. And I just don't understand what it is about fans that do that. And bear in mind, and this has been said numerous times by other YouTubers, but I'm going to repeat it because it's still a valid point. These same fans are the same people that got pissed off at that bitch for telling LeBron shut up and dribble. For Lauren Ingram, I think, what is her name? I forget her name. But she said that. But what they're doing is pretty much the same thing. All these fans that are telling Kyrie, "Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're just causing havoc." That's pretty much what they're saying, to shut up and dribble. It's the same fucking thing. So, like, no, you either are against that logic or that way of thinking, or you're not. But don't pretend you are when you go one way and then the other. That's hypocrisy.
Yeah, I know. It's like, dude, you have the right to disagree with him, okay? It's like, okay, so we don't agree. Big deal. Leave it at that. Don't
but then don't be hypocritical when this other woman tells LeBron James to shut up and dribble, but then you're telling Kyrie Irving the same shit, pretty much. Not exactly, but you're implying it. That's exactly what they're implying.
Yeah. I get you. It's like I said, he made one decision, then he changed his mind. Okay, so he like I said, dude, it's people are not going to agree on things, but it doesn't give you the right to shut on them just because you don't see eye to eye.
Yeah, and people are just fucking fickle. They love you until you do something that they don't like. That's the problem. Fans and people in general are fickle, because one day they'll love you for whatever it is that you do, then another day they'll fucking hate you just because you did something. I mean, granted, if it's a good reason, then yeah. But if it's some sort of bullshit like this, no. You have no right to hate on the guy. His mind and heart are in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that's just making a big thing about it when it's like, bro, that's his decision, his life. Why do you care? You know what he does. I mean, we all got to focus on what we got to do in our own lives.
And at
if
this
you want
point,
to be active about something, then you be active about something. But don't shit on somebody else if they don't have the same views as you. It's all about perspective, man. Because sometimes it's always good to talk to others and say, oh, you may view something one way and he has a different perspective of that same thing. And it's like, oh, okay. I never thought of it like that. You always learn something. But to the ones that just hate on others, don't even bother to look at their perspective and see why they came to the decision they did. So it's like I said, some people just like, you got to open your mind, man, and be open to different perspectives. And that's sad that people don't, because they think what they think is right and everyone else is wrong. It's like, no. I mean, you could be right, but then at the same time, you may be wrong, and you got to be willing to accept when you're wrong. And that's hard for all of us. We've all made that mistake.
I mean, like, there's worse things to hate on people about. Like, you see these players in the league, like the NFL, that freaking beat women and shit. Violence on their kids and shit. That's something you should legitimately hate someone for. When they hurt people, when they're legitimately hurting people. Kyrie has not done that. He is not doing that. So people need to stop disrespecting the guy just because they don't agree on something as minimal as playing a game. I love basketball as much as anybody. I'm a huge basketball fan. But at the same time, if the players end up not they say it's continued, but who knows? What if out of nowhere everyone does a 180 and changes their mind and stops the league?
Yeah, it can happen.
It's their decision to make. Okay, guys? We are nobody to say, like, if they want to continue playing the game and they can support the cause and other factors, that's fine, as long as they are supporting the cause, because that's the main thing, that you're supporting the cause and you're helping people. You're spreading awareness. You're helping to stop police brutality on Black lives. That's the point. It doesn't matter how you do it, just so long as you do it and you do it properly and you do it together. That is the big picture that people are not getting. But that's just my thought on the whole thing. Like, Kyrie Irving is a good person. Yeah, the flat earth thing I could really live without, but otherwise he's a good person. And see, I want to talk about something else about Kyrie before we move on. Like, not too long ago, they were it was what's his name? Charles Barkley was saying something about Kyrie Irving. So like, he's never happy. He needs to be happy. He's paid too much to be sad and all this. Charles, I understand, but money does not buy happiness. There's a reason that phrase exists. Money can buy things that make you happy, yes, but that doesn't in essence mean happiness, because there are people that still have, whether it be, issues with depression and other shit. Maybe there's something that's happening with Kyrie that we don't know. Mental illness is a big thing. So we need to be mindful of that. Maybe Kyrie has some personal issues he needs to address, but at this moment, it's not even about that. And that's, I think, another big reason why people like to target Kyrie is like, oh, he's so sensitive. He's so sensitive. It's like, dude, I'd rather be sensitive than be a fucking stone cold rock who doesn't give a shit about anybody. And then you have things like the Black Lives Matter movement being shat upon because people don't give a shit. That's the problem. Maybe you should be a little bit more sensitive. Maybe you should fucking care. That's how I see it. Maybe you should fucking listen to people and be sensitive to their needs and what they're lacking. They need help. That's yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we got to listen to each other. Otherwise, it's the same thing's going to happen over and over again, and the problem's never going to be solved. So it's like, at the end of the day, it was his decision to make, and you can't really fault him for that. It's like, whatever happens, he's got to have to deal with it.
Yeah, so, and it's his own prerogative, and people should not fault him for that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say on the whole Kyrie Irving thing. That fans are fickle about it. Leave him the fuck alone. Everybody has their points to make, and they were all valid. Nobody was wrong in this situation. So let's move on. So in the news lately, we've been hearing about Ezekiel Elliot, that he has now contracted COVID-19, which is very upsetting because of the fact that he was at that party some while ago with Dak Prescott and all those people. So that's pretty irresponsible. So now, because of that, hopefully they all know who was at that deal and they all get tested. But maybe this could have been from some other occasion. But from my thought process, that's where I think it came from. That stupid party that they should not have had. But Mario has the article on that. So what does it say?
I mean, there's reports that it was not just based on what there was a report that Ian Rappaport just posted about it, and it's like it said they're saying there were some members of the Cowboys and even the Houston Texans that tested positive. Not just Ezekiel, but he's the main figure that they reported him on. So let's see. So far there's nothing adverse with Elliot. He seems to be doing okay, but
the side effects are not adverse right now.
No. So I mean, they say that he did test positive. It wasn't that they say that they didn't he didn't contract it from the facilities, from team facilities, it must have been outside. So like you say, the party could have been wise. So I mean, the Cowboys didn't really comment on that because, of course, privacy laws. But it was Elliott's own camp, I guess his family or maybe his agent, that publicly acknowledged that he did test positive. So, it's we're not sure. It's not really quite. There's not a lot to go on this because, of course, they're exercising HIPAA, which are the privacy laws, or Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, to protect. It prevents healthcare professionals from revealing sensitive information of their patients. So they're saying he tests positive. They don't know anything else because of that, and of course that's important. Privacy is important. So he's saying his his agent confirmed it. It's really hard to go on because some of these sites don't really give me much substance to really talk about it. So it's really unsure. It's really
because of the
unknown.
fact that they're keeping it hidden from the public eye because of the Hippocratic Oath and all that shit. I understand that, but at the same time, the people that were involved need to get tested now. And this is the whole thing that people were trying to avoid, spreading it. And that party, and bear in mind, this party was at least a month or a month and a half ago. This should not have happened. They knew this was happening, and they did not take it seriously. This is why when people say, please distance yourself, please wear masks. And I get it. Ezekiel may not be, in dire straits with the COVID virus, but it's bad. This is not a good look at all. It just makes, it's like with Rudy Gobert. He was not taking it seriously. And hopefully this doesn't put Ezekiel in a bad light. But it kind of is right now because they should have known better.
Well, look, man, like I told you, it's all, people know the risks. You cannot keep people from going and doing what they would like to do. You got to tell them, well, if you do this with this current situation, you may be exposed and blah, blah, blah. If you tell them that, it's like, no, you got to tell them the risks. But if they choose, it's like, all right, but if they choose to
ignore,
either take it or not, that's on them. But like I said, you can't stop people from doing, in a way, doing what they want. Now, of course, if they're just a complete and utter jackasses, have no concern for those around him.
But see, that's what this comes off as. That's what this comes off as. At this point, it's like we can't force them to. Yeah, but that's stupid. Then he's stupid. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, you're right.
Been smart.
Right, but like I said, you can't trample on people's civil rights. That would be it. You use this as an excuse to do that. That's very dangerous. So that's why you got to tell them, hey, this is what's going on. That's why you got to inform people, hey, this is what's going on. And then at the end of the day, it's their decision.
Well, dude, I'm very certain they were informed, dude.
Right.
I'm sure they were informed. If people at my job, which is definitely not like the Dallas Cowboys organization, if my fucking job told us of the risks and freaking told us not to come into work and told us to social distance ourselves, if they can fucking do that, and any other job that's below an organization like the Dallas Cowboys, and they understand that and they fucking do it, they have no fucking excuse. They have all the resources at hand. They have a lot more at their disposal. So they have no excuse to be stupid. That's the issue I take on that. They have no reason to be ignorant.
Right. Well, like I said,
we have the internet. We have all this stuff.
Right. It didn't happen on team facilities.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. It's not the team facilities. And yes, they cannot control their players. But at the same time, the organization should let them know, hey, you need to not do this.
They can encourage it, but they can't make them. I mean, like I said, dude, they can encourage people unless, unless since it's their workplace, if the team or like the owner or the coach or the front office or the general manager, I don't know. Well, of course, Jerry is the general manager. So if he, you know, gave his players an ultimatum, or made it mandatory, that would be one thing. But at the end of the day, it's like he has no control over what his players do of outside of the facility, outside of work, if you will. What happens to them, that's their problem. That is their decision. You can't micromanage someone's life like that.
Maybe not, dude, but that's just dumb at that point. You knew the risk. What I'm saying is they have access to all of that information.
Right.
Probably more so than anybody. And yet they still decided to be stupid.
Well,
that's just my problem.
Right, I know. Like I said, they have no one to blame but themselves. At the end of the day,
yeah,
that's all on them. I mean, like at work for me, it's like they made it mandatory to wear masks around customers. Like when I'm upstairs,
yeah, that's when when I go back to work. That's what I'm gonna have to do: wear a mask.
Yeah,
and
when I'm around
I might even buy myself gloves too, just to be safe.
That's your choice. That's up to you, of course. But when I go up to the concourse where the customers are, I put my mask on, and not everyone is wearing one, but that's their choice. But of course, the company made it mandatory where it's like, oh, we're making it mandatory. We catch you without a mask up in the customer area, we'll write you up. I haven't seen that, but I'm not taking that chance. So when I go upstairs, I put my mask on. When I come back down to the ramp, no, I take it off, because wearing that thing all day, breathing in your own exhale, it'll get to you.
Yeah, it can be noxious gas because it's carbon dioxide coming back into your
that's the issue with wearing masks, is you breathing
in what
you exhale.
Okay, but there's certain masks that they make that give you the ability, like they have the little cosas in there.
Yeah, but company's not going to provide that.
Well,
because that's too much money.
Maybe it's just getting your own then at that point. Well, like, how much do those cost?
Well, the union did supply us with masks that they made. The union hall gave us masks that they took the time to make for us, and that's what I use. See, if the company gave a damn, they would supply masks like that, but they don't.
Well, and also they would supply mandatory testing. But see, that's another issue on the whole matter, because I don't want to delve too much into this, but you have to be in contact with somebody who has it in order to go get tested, which I understand because there's limited tests. But at some point, like, everybody is going to have to get tested to make sure.
Well, that's, like I said, and at the end of the day, when it comes to that, that's up to the person. You can't force that upon them, because then that'll be infringing on your rights. So at the end of the day, like I said, we have to educate ourselves, and then at the end of the day, we make our decisions ourselves, and then we accept the rewards or the consequences. Like I said, it can be a little, weird to talk about, but as far as crossing your civil rights, that's a fine line that should not be crossed for any reason, because once it's crossed, then you can't go back. It'll raise a lot of issues with that. Anyway, that would be something to talk about later. But yeah, at the end of the day, Ezekiel's going to have to own up to his mistake. However he got it, if it was from that party, it could have been something else. But again, at the end of the day, he has to own it. We
need to know a little bit more information on that in the future. But yeah, because that's not good. Because if it was at that party, there were other people at that party. They claimed later that there wasn't as many. It's like, but part of me doubts that. So either way, all those people who were there with Ezekiel need to be tested, and whoever was chilling with the Houston Texas players need to get tested.
Right. I was trying to find more information about the Houston Texans, but
yeah, because it is a recent development. So I guess we still need to hear more, and plus also the Hippocratic Oath. They can't always divulge that information.
No, HIPAA's important, man. It's like, if that wasn't for that, a lot of companies would be getting the information that they should not be privy to. And you know, like I said, privacy is important. So that's why I said your civil liberties should never be violated, no matter what.
But yeah, that's all we had on the whole thing with Ezekiel Elliot. Let's talk about shit. I mean, we've been talking about movies, and let's talk about video games, man. Like, we've been talking about videos and shows for a while, but let's talk about something different since you're about to start your own channel. Well, you already did your own video, so, and I'm actually going to post that in that link in the description pretty soon. But yeah, let's see. What games have you been playing as of late, personally?
I haven't been playing anything as of late because I've been so worried about making sure I have money for, you know, and I still have my job. I've been trying to learn other things, how to make some money with ease, and divulging into like I said, divulging into cryptocurrencies and trying to, you know, be steady if I were to lose my job. I'm hoping that's not the case because we've seen, you know, traffic go up and some good signs. So I haven't had the chance to really play anything.
Well, I mean, when I flew to Amarillo with Ashley, like, we had our masks on and everything. Everything seemed to be booming at DFW, so I don't see why.
Well,
Why they
we're
wouldn't.
not we're not operating at 100%. We're operating at like 70%. So we still have a bunch of planes still parked and not in use. We did bring 141 of them back into service, but we parked like about 450 total. So, you know, it's getting there. But like I said, you know, I won't know until August whether or not I'm going to be furloughed. So that's what I've been focusing on. I'm trying to see if I can get in to playing some games. I'm just trying to balance that and practicing music. It's just one of those summers that I'm trying to hustle for you know, steady income if that were to happen, so that way I don't have to worry come October. Anyway, so yeah, I haven't been able to play much like I would want to. And then I don't have a game system. I mean, I have Steam, but it's, you know, it's not. A lot of these games take up a lot of space on my computer, and I
They
don't have a lot of
can, yeah.
space.
That's the only thing. I mean, that's how it was with Civilizations 5. I mean, or I guess any of the Civilizations, I guess,
Well,
games.
I'll try to see, but I may have. I just really need a new computer with better space, and I think I need a better external hard drive because I think my external hard drive is
Full.
it's not working properly anymore for some
Even when
reason.
you try to like plug it into another computer and try to delete certain files off of it.
No, it's just like it. The disk just doesn't seem to engage. It like keeps on spinning and
Oh,
spinning and
so you
spinning.
lost half of the stuff then?
No, the stuff is still there. It's just as far as the computer reading it, it takes a while for the
I guess once you get your
the
new
hard drive to
to load.
engage or to be acknowledged by the computer. And so I just need something better and more that
Well,
holds
once you
more.
get that CPU, dude, I'm sure you'll be fine, and you'll just figure out what you need to do with that. But yeah, as far as games, I mean, Ashley and I have been playing Black Ops, mainly Nazi zombies, and what is it? Well, just the regular one too, just the regular like multiplayer mode, and it's been really fun. I mean, I'm not very good at shooter games, you know that personally. I mean, I've gotten better with playing with Ashley, but it's just one of those things that like I was never really that good with because, you know, we've played with Chancho, Rafa, and all those fuckers. Then they kill us every time. Well, except you, because you fucking like snipe people, asshole.
Well, I have once I finally get a better computer to do some games, I will definitely get those and start playing on those because I really
Yeah,
like
they're really
to.
good,
It's just like you got to
especially
take the
the
time in to
zombies
get
one.
used to playing a game.
Yeah, the zombies one is really good too, man. Like, it's definitely fun on multiplayer because, oh man, oh, the other day, Ashley and I got to like 49 rounds on that thing. I think there's only 50 rounds, and we got to 49 of them. Like that was
Wow.
crazy. But the thing
That's
is,
how
like,
far you
I
got.
mean,
Nice.
full disclosure though, we also had bots, like other guys that like the bots that helped us. So we probably would not have gotten that far by ourselves. But still, I mean, yeah, we got to 49 rounds. But I think what's dumb is what I've noticed is if you're down, if you like they hit you and you're down and you shoot them to try and kill them away from you while your friends are helping you up, it doesn't count the kills on your end.
Doesn't?
Which is bullshit because like, dude, I fucking killed them. Why would you give me the ability to shoot people when I'm down, but not give me the kill? What logic does that make? You know what I mean? Yeah, like I had, because in this one, like, have you ever played Call of Duty in general?
I played it a few times with some friends. So like I said, I didn't, we didn't grow up with the game, so
Yeah,
we played it on and off, so we're not really used to it.
yeah. But in this, like in the zombie mode, you get like super weapons and stuff. Like you get your regular like guns and like pistols and machine guns and shit. But then there's also some super weapons, and one of them is the laser gun. And you can
Yeah.
what is called
Yeah,
pack a punch it. You
yeah,
in
pack
essence,
a punch it. Yeah, I've watched YouTubers play that on YouTube, and I see what they do. So some of those videos are pretty hilarious to watch. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, to pretty much upgrade it. And yeah, I had that. So me and Ashley were pretty much like doing it to where we would shoot like I upgraded like another big gun of my own plus the laser gun. And what I would do, like when we got to a point where we could just stay on the roof, we pretty much camped out on the fucking roof with us and the two bots, started shooting them as we went. And like there were times we would run out of bullets and we thought, oh shit, we're fucked. But what helped was when I was down, the laser gun becomes my pistol. So I'm able to just keep shooting the zombies. What's dumb though is like you run out of bullets on the laser gun when you're standing up, but if you get knocked down, you somehow have bullets to shoot them when you're down, which is fucking weird. But we pretty much used that to our advantage the entire round. So yeah, we pretty much did that. And we also have like other weird type weapons like swords or like some other weapons to kind of help us out, bombs and shit. So yeah, we pretty much utilized all that shit throughout that time. I think we were on level, I think we were around 22 when that started happening. And then from there, we just kept going up from there. Like we kept getting knocked down. Our bots kept helping us up and we kept shooting everything and we just made it to 49 rounds. Like nothing. So yeah, it's a pretty fun deal. It's just you have to really be careful, and you just have to have the right weaponry, which we both happen to have had at that point. And it's just crazy because I think it is dumb that they don't count those kills though, because like I ended up with like 1,000 and some, and I know I definitely had at least 3,000 kills. Like whatever kills went to them should have been me and Ashley's kills. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of stupid that the bots got all those points and kills. We didn't. But I mean, it was still fun. We still like the fact that we survived that long is pretty impressive for me, even because I hardly play games like those, and the fact that I even made it that far.
Oh, that's still pretty good, of course. I mean, I'm just hoping when I get my new CPU that I was told that you can get what was it, an Xbox multi-game or something, multi-season pass or something like that, to where you can play Xbox games on your computer instead of playing it through the console. And they say it's a little bit more expensive than the Xbox Live account.
Really?
Well, that's what Luis told me.
Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, but if you're gonna be a gamer, like YouTube gamer,
yeah, no,
you kind of have no choice, right?
yeah, well, that's what he recommended to me. You know, a big shout out to TSS_sane.
Yeah, our buddy Luis.
Yeah, hopefully we can join in some games with him. You know, it'd be cool. It's been a minute since we last saw him.
Yeah, dude, that guy was pretty chill. It's pretty
Yeah.
chill.
So I'll see. I'll look into it and see how much it is.
And hell, maybe you can even try and see if you can hit up Oscar
Yeah,
OGsensei to see if he's down. But that's again, just ask him.
I'm sure he's down. He's telling me, he's like, yeah, man, I'd be down to join you guys on playing some games, whatever you
Yeah.
had in mind. So I'll look into that pass and see what it is. Because yeah, if I can play on my PC without having to play on a console or having to buy a console separate, that'd be great. And then I'll just get a controller and just hook it up to my computer and play like that. So like I said, I mean, it's I'll mess with it once I finally get that CPU, and like I said, hit up Gabe, check with him about that, and hopefully, at least we'll have a more up to date rig to do these videos with ease. And like I said, I'm still an Apple user. I'll probably save up later for an Apple computer, but at least this one's being provided to us at no charge. I was like, I'll take it. Take the
Take what you can
opportunity.
get. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's familia, so
yeah, of
claro.
course.
Okay, another game that I mean, I haven't played it as much now, but I played it for a bit. It's called Jump Force, and it's like the show and jump characters, like all like Goku, Naruto. Uh, God, who's the guy from One Piece? I'm sorry,
Luffy.
Luffy. Yeah, or Luffy, however you pronounce his name. Yeah, so
Yeah,
like all
Luffy.
those guys, and then a bunch of other characters, and it's a fighting game. But I guess it's like an adventure fighting game because what happens is it starts out as like you morph out of nowhere into their world, like because the jump world collides with your world, and then you automatically for some reason have powers and shit, and you go fighting with them. You take on all these bosses and
So what's the name of the title again?
Jump Force.
Jump Force.
Yeah, like they're
It,
pretty much it's like the Avengers, but with show and jump characters. If you
and
catch
it's
my drift.
all and it's nothing but Shonen Jump characters.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It even
that's
has fucking people from Hunter x Hunter, Bleach. No, no, not Bleach. Was it Bleach? Yeah, it is Bleach. Um, what else? Rurouni Kenshin. Oh my God, what is that other one? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
interesting. Okay, that's really cool. Um,
Yu Yu Hakusho. That was the other one. I was like, what's the other one?
really, he has that
Yeah.
in there.
Well, yeah,
It didn't
the
have
guy from Yu Yu Hakusho.
it didn't have Dragon Ball, right? Because that's not Shonen Jump.
Yeah, it is. Dragon Ball
Oh, it
Z.
is.
Dragon Ball's
Oh,
Shonen
it
Jump.
is. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. It had Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Frieza.
nice. I'll definitely have to check out that game once I.
Oh, dude, it is hella fun. I might like if you ever visit, we should play it if you ever visit.
I plan
Um,
on trying to do it sometime soon to visit you
yeah,
guys.
maybe hopefully, if you have like a good block of a week to come visit, you should like take a week, and then we could probably do a podcast finally together in one fucking spot. You know?
Sure. I wouldn't mind that at all. And if you're ever over here, we could do one here
Yeah,
too.
same thing. Yeah, obviously. But okay, so that's another game. But of course, this is where video games and sports collide in the podcast. I tend to play a lot of NBA 2K. I've been playing it since like the NBA 2K series since after NBA Live started falling out of favor. So I think it was like what 2K10. That's when I started playing 2K.
I think so.
Because that's when we shared an Xbox and 2K11 was out on that.
Was it 2011 or 2012 that we?
No, it was because it was 2010, and then we bought 2011, and then we bought 2012, and then after
Oh,
that
okay.
we didn't have an Xbox for a while because we moved and we were doing our own shit.
And and then it died.
Yeah, and then I bought my own Xbox. I started playing 2K17, 2K18. Now I'm on 2K. Well, actually, I know I played 2K17 through 20. So yeah, but I'm currently on 20. I was kind of considering it, not buying it at first, but then I did anyway. Because like, fuck it. I mean, the NBA seasons was done at that moment, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just play it. And like, it has some interesting features, but I don't know, man. I think 2K got really lazy, man. I think they got lazy.
Lazy how? Like what
Well,
was like the
because I play career mode a lot. If you guys play 2K, like I tend to play the career mode. I don't like the my team mode. I don't when I think that started around like what 2K16 or something, where it's like you collect cards of players and like it's like what is it? It's like my franchise, where you like get a bunch of players and put them all on a team, or when you like do a fantasy draft where you draft all these players onto your team. It's kind of
wait,
like that, except like it's like a card collecting
they
deal.
have that on the game?
Yeah, it's fucking weird. I never really liked it personally because I think I think it's such a cash grab, but people like it, so whatever the fuck. So yeah,
That's very interesting that they're trying to bring like the old fashioned card, collector
collecting.
cards that we would collect before,
Oh no, but
and then they're
it's yeah, it's no association with like Top Deck or anything. It's its own thing. Yeah, that's been going on for a bit, and I just like you pretty much get these cards and you build a team as you go, and they range from like whatever the starter is to like diamond, purple diamond, platinum something, whatever fuck, you know what I mean, colors and shit that make them better for some reason. I don't know, dude. It's just all sorts of convoluted, so I never got into it.
hmm.
But yeah, there's that. There's my GM, where you pretty much are the GM and you kind of make the moves as to what's going on to see if you can become successful with the team. I did that once, wasn't a fan. And then of course you can make your own expansion teams, like when you play like my whatever my league is what it's called now. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. My league is like there's my team and then there's my league, where you pretty much create your own league out of like you can make it where there's previous like teams from the past and teams from now like mixed together.
Really,
Uh,
you can actually do that.
yeah, and then some people do that for like YouTube Sims, for like, hey, if this team played in today's era, what would happen? Or if this player played in this team now or in the past, how would it happen? Or they resim like old teams and they try to do a sim from, and they pretty much insert drafts within there. Like they create a draft of actual players, and like every time you play a season, it goes through it. Then it creates the draft that was actually from those years. Like it's really cool. Like you do a lot with 2K. Like there's still a lot of benefits with 2K, but I think a lot of the graphics and the design is not as good. And they lift off a lot of things in my career. Like you used to be able to see. I mean, you can still see like overall stats and records, but you can no longer see like team records. Like, oh, how many points did this player on this specific team score? Like for the franchise records, you know what I mean? Franchise records versus league records. In essence,
Franchise, like, oh yeah, like players throughout the years, what records they set for their franchise.
for
Yeah.
their specific franchise. Yeah, there for some reason on this new one, that is not there. Um, Also, there's also oh yeah, even something simple as who's won the like league history. They used to do that too, where you would see who's won the championship in the past few years. I like to see that because it's like shit. Who did I beat last time? Because and here's the overall thing, because there's different like levels to play with, right? You can start from pro to Hall of Fame mode. Pro is like simple. Hall of Fame mode is hard. And I guess as you build up, you become better and you could probably play better in all of those modes. But sometimes what pisses me off about the modes is that for some odd reason, your shooting is not the same. Like I understand it's supposed to be a little bit harder as you go, but your shot mechanic should remain the same. I should still be able to shoot a three the same way I would shoot it if I was in pro mode versus Hall of Fame mode. It shouldn't change. I shouldn't hold the pressure differently for a jump shot. You get my drift?
Like the sensitivity of the toggle switches and the buttons are different.
Well, yeah, the button, yeah, like if you you have to hold your shot a certain amount of time. And if you like, and because a lot of times, especially from 3, and that's what pisses me off when I make myself a shooter, I'm supposed to be able to hit more 3s than I'm supposed to. Well, I mean, maybe not supposed to, but you get what I mean. I should be hitting more 3s than average. But somehow I shoot 3s in the harder modes, and sometimes it just won't fucking happen.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And
then
well,
also another thing about the modes is that in the easy mode, I wouldn't say like, I mean, it's still semi-competitive, but it's like their players become stupid all of a sudden. Like they're not like defending as well and all that. And in the hard modes, our players defend. In the hard mode, like the Hall of Fame mode, their players become like god tier. But for some odd reason, my teammates just act stupid. Like there has to be a fucking happy medium, man. Like, especially okay. I love the Mavericks. I tend to play for the Mavericks. So right now I have like Luka and Kristaps Porzingis. But for some odd reason, like Luka's damn good. Like they tend to make him pretty good. But when I get to Hall of Fame mode, he doesn't do as well. He's like he doesn't shoot as much. He passes a lot. I don't know what the fuck. And I've even tried to edit the playbook to where he shoots a little bit more.
Well, do you have to develop the character as you go through the modes?
Well, my character, yeah, but my teammates should not be horrible. You know what I mean? Like my teammates end up playing horribly, and I'm having to carry the fucking team. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't have to score 50 fucking points and still lose because my teammates suck for some reason.
Well, it's the way the computer, man. The way the computer does it sometimes.
No, but see, what I don't understand, the computer should have it make sense. It shouldn't be just, your players fucking suck. No, it should be equal playing field based on their. Why even fucking have ratings? You know what I mean? Each player has a player rating within the game. So why the fuck have a rating if the rating doesn't mean shit at that point? You know what I mean? Like Luka is like a top tier player, and the fact that he's missing really easy shots, or they do some sort of like, ¿cómo se llama? What is it called? Some stupid animation that makes absolutely no sense in the moment. That's just the thing. The animations are really dumb sometimes because they're in the shooting motion, and for some odd reason, like instead of like say you have an open lane, right? They could just fucking easily either A, lay it up, or B, dunk it. But they choose to do something stupid. Like they fucking like try to do a floater, or they try to do a spin around jumper, even though it's fucking open right there. And then they either A, miss it, or B, get blocked. I'm like, oh my God, just fucking run it in and dunk it. Like, dude, it pisses me off to no bitter end sometimes. Like, I've gotten better. Like, I've gotten pretty good at the game myself. But when the fucking teammates don't want to do shit, or when they're just not doing what they're supposed to be doing, it's like, what am I doing? This is not a team that should be playing this horribly.
Well, at the same time, man, you got to remember it's still a video game. It's a virtual simulation of how they would play, and sometimes I think they
supposedly how they would play, which is nonsense. Because
like
Luka would not.
Yeah. It's
Luka's pretty much a triple-double machine like Russell Westbrook, except more efficient. Like, but for some odd reason, they just make him look trashy, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like even Zion Williamson, like there's moments he does bully people in the paint, but then there are moments he's just getting clobbered. I'm like, pass it! Like there are times I'm wide open, I'm asking for a pass, and they'll still go within an animation and get blocked, and I'm like, pues mire pendejo, you should have passed me the fucking ball.
You always get all worked up with these games,
because
man.
It's just one of those things, like I'm fucking in it, and it's like I know something should be going a certain way, and it's not. It's like, dude, what the fuck? That's like, okay, and there's also these dumb animations that occur. Sometimes it happens to their team, but it also happens to our team, where they'll do a stupid backcourt violation deal where they accidentally like run all the way back to the half-court line and turn it over. It's like, Nobody does that in real life. Who the fuck?
Like again, it's a video game, man. You're always gonna also have glitches too.
Or when okay, also there's certain moments like I'm passing the ball, right? Like the guy is nowhere near catching the ball or where he would be able to catch the ball to steal it from me. I'm direct pass to my player, but somehow he's like not even facing, but out of nowhere he turns around. I'm like, what? No, in no fucking world.
Dude, you need to go on to like Reddit or something and watch these video game glitches, dude. They're the most hilarious.
They're the worst. Well, dude, they happen a lot.
I know. Like, well, that's what I'm saying. It's not limited to just one game. It's limited to all.
Oh no, yeah, no, games. I know that, but I'm saying like over the years, 2K has just become more lazy. Oh, and this is another thing, like the dialogue. You remember I told you about the dialogue not too long ago in one of our other podcast episodes? Like like the previous game was pretty good. The dialogue was really good. But this one, they got really fucking lazy. Like it even shows you what he's supposed to be saying, but somehow he says something completely off. Like it's like something we're supposed to. There was one in my head that I had it, and it was really stupid. It's like we just got to keep. Oh, it's supposed to say we just got to keep it up. Yeah. Oh, we just got to keep up. I'm like, what? Like completely off. I'm like, that's not. Did you even read the script? Did they not just give you something to read with emotion? What are you doing? I'm just sitting there like, these guys got lazy.
Well, like, hey man, you know, no video game is perfect, nor will it.
I know it's not perfect, but like, look, if you have something that worked from the previous game, you shouldn't change it. I understand you're supposed to keep it fresh, but if there was something that wasn't wrong and you changed that, but not change something that was wrong in the previous game and not change that, that's bad PR. That's bad public relations.
Because there's a lot
you're
of
not
people
listening to your fans. You're not listening to your consumer.
Because there's always those people anywhere that think that they could do better, so they try to reinvent the wheel.
But part of it is, again, they try to reinvent the wheel, and I understand that. And I understand you got to keep it fresh. But I think our problem is, if this keeps happening, we just stop buying the fucking game. But again, we can't because we like basketball so much. And I think that's how they get us, because we like basketball so much. But if you would just fix the shit we ask, we wouldn't have to complain. Just fix the shit. You guys are the engineers. You know how it worked last time. Just do the same thing that worked last time and put it in there. Another thing that has also bothered me throughout the series is when, I mean, because I think it was one of the recent ones they started adding where like they do the banner ceremony and they lift a banner.
Oh yeah, they added that.
Yeah, but see, my problem is they don't keep the banner up there. They just take the stock footage and leave it there instead of like changing it every so often where like it adds a new banner. You know what I mean? To like space out the keep the same animations for the actual banners and then add another banner. You know what I mean? That would be fun. That would be cool because it's like, oh shit, yeah, I can see my achievements and shit. Like as like they're awarding the rings and shit. That's cool. Or as it starts a new game, you see it up in the banisters. That's badass. That's cool. That would be a cool thing to add, but they don't. So I don't know. And then like I understand you can only have so much dialogue within a game, but sometimes like it just gets to a point where it's repetitive and you're just like, yes, I've heard this story about Chris Webber. Yes, Bill Simmons, you're a fucking jackass. You know, like, it's just like, I understand you can only have so much dialogue, but maybe you should add new dialogue in an update or something. I don't know. Those are actually more petty than anything, but the other ones, like actual mechanics of like the shot, actual movement within the game, missing fucking close layups, or not getting fucking fouls called for you. Like, I could get fucking manhandled and they will not call a foul on me. But the moment I try to go for a block, foul! or the moment I try to steal, foul. I'm like, where's the fucking fairness? I mean, there are moments I have gotten like double-digit steals, so I really can't complain, but that's because I really have to be fucking careful. Or I play in a lower level just to see how many I can get, just for the fuck of it. Like today, I played in the lower level just to see if I can get the record for threes, and I ended up not only getting the record for 3-pointers in a game, which was it was 14 by Klay Thompson, but I scored 21 threes. Not only that, I also beat the 100 points record. I also beat the steals record.
Wow.
Yeah, dude,
you went past 100 points in the game.
Yeah, I got 101.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because sometimes I want to see if I just for the fuck of it. And yeah, I did. Like I was hitting like 3 after 3, and I'm like, damn. But see, on the playground, it's the same shit. Those fuckers hit 3 after 3. But when I attempt to play on the blacktops or the rec, my 3 wouldn't fucking go in. It's like, dude, I'm a shooter. Why the fuck is my 3 not falling? Like, what do these fuckers have that I do not have?
Well, like I said, I think the computer and the game try to.
Well, no, but this is when you're playing against other players. Like, you do a micro mode, you make your own character, and you play against other people's characters.
Oh,
Even then,
you can wait. You can actually play against other people online with their character.
Yeah, but you have to have an Xbox Live account and all that shit. I did at one point, but then it got fucking toxic, dude. Those people are assholes.
Because people,
it's like
online.
Well, no, it's like when people play at a rec or on an actual basketball court. Like, you start missing a shot, they don't pass it to you anymore. They fucking just start shooting themselves. Like, dude, this isn't any fun, man. It's a team sport. Like, pass me the ball once in a while. Or they'll talk shit of you suck, man. I was like, dude, can't you not see I was fucking enveloped by 5 people? I tried to pass it, bitch.
Dude, like I said, there's just some people that just talk shit, just because.
I don't know. But yeah, those are just some things that I wish 2K would fix or at least improve upon. But yeah, I'm pretty certain there's shit that happens in Madden. There was a glitch I saw in Madden that was fucking hilarious. This guy, he was about to take it all the way in for a fucking touchdown, and somehow his character, when he flips into the end zone, it fumbles it somehow, and the computer grabs the ball and runs it all the way the fuck back. I'm like, dude, that is fucking nonsense.
I know it's nonsense, but that's why I don't. I mean, even in real life, it's like, yeah, don't do those kind of tricks, because there's some people that will lose the ball somehow and there's a couple of guys that would run into the end zone and not pay attention and let go of the ball before they get into the end zone, because the ball doesn't cross the plane. It's like, that's not good. So I mean, just go for it. People run in more times than not. That way you don't risk losing the ball.
That's why sometimes in 2K, some people have these dribble moves and shit. That's why sometimes I don't even do too many dribble moves, because it doesn't always work, and sometimes you end up getting the ball stolen. So I'm just even though in real life you could probably get away with a few. I mean, sometimes I get a couple of them in. And as time went on, the more I played the games, the more I realized that you could do other stuff. I see people doing fucking alley-oops. I'm like, oh shit, how do you do a fucking alley-oop? So then I had to research the controls and shit. It's pretty badass when you pull off an alley-oop. But see, it sucks though, because in previous games you were able to make your height whatever you want. And this particular 2K, because they were trying out something, they were doing I guess character player builds, where you could choose the badges you want, or you could just pick a specific character build, and then the badges are already applied with however many they have, but then you're stuck with that certain height. and you don't get the ability to improve. So then if you don't have a certain overall within a certain aspect of your game, you can't do certain things. Like since I'm a 6'3" guard in this one, like Steph Curry, I can't do alley-oop dunks, which sucks because in the previous game, I was my actual fucking height and I was still able to do fucking alley-oop dunks. Because it's just funny to see a little guy fucking throwing up an alley-oop dunk to himself. Because that shit's hilarious. It's just, you see this little fucker just like, eh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that happen on some videos I've seen. And then also, there's also mods that you can push
yeah, but those are
PC.
actually for PC mods. Yeah, because those are definitely not
Yeah, you can't do mod. Well, I thought I remembered someone telling me that you can do mods
only certain ones.
on the new Xbox, on the Xbox One X.
Oh,
That's what I was told. I mean, I have to look at it again, but
if that's the case, that's pretty badass.
Because I know, yeah, you can do mods on the PC all day long, because connection to the internet allows you to download content, DLCs for those kind of mods. But I mean, I remember someone telling me about that, so I don't know how true that is. I have to look it up, but yeah, that's why, if we can get our hands on a better PC, we'll definitely have a lot of fun when we play games like this. So hopefully soon,
Yeah. Oh, and another thing that I think is cool though, like when you do like My League and you create expansion teams, you can either get the teams that are already in there that they have already created, or B, you can pull off teams that other people have created, like within the community, or C, you can create your own teams, and which is dumb sometimes because they don't have Vegas. Like you have to create your own Vegas team. So I'm like, but guess who they have? They have El Paso.
What?
You can create a team from El Paso.
What?
Yeah, dude. Like you can, like it shows you choose your location, and like it has a bunch of like little dots on the map, and one of them is El Paso. I think that started happening. That started happening, I think, a couple games ago. Like it was fairly recent because they didn't have El Paso on it before.
So you can actually choose any game any city in the country.
No, not any city, but certain cities, like cities that like are either big enough markets to house a team, like that specific.
Right. Well, El Paso's big enough to. It's big enough to have its own pro.
Yeah, it's probably one of the bigger cities that does not have a major league sport team.
I mean, it can if
I think if anything, as much as I would love to have an NBA team in El Paso, it probably wouldn't happen. I think they would the sports that probably would go there would be baseball. Like if say the Chihuahuas move up and become part of the MLB.
I mean, I don't know if that's possible. It could be. But
yeah, MLS and MLB would be probably the only two. Well, but then again, technically the Locomotives are a team in their own league, so I guess that does count. But it's not MLS.
Aren't they like one level below MLS?
I don't know, dude. Maybe, but I don't know. I think MLS and MLB would definitely thrive in El Paso, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
Football would be really hard because we're a little bit landlocked and we wouldn't know where to put a decent stadium. And then basketball, well, because I mean, basketball could work, but I don't think it would work as much as baseball and football would. Like football.
Well, I mean, you could. I'm just saying that, and not really landlocked. I mean, the Northeast got plenty of room that you can use for a stadium. I mean, a lot of cities, not every arena will be within the city limits or downtown exactly. Sometimes some cities will be on the outskirts of a certain town, or just about there, like let's see, like Dallas, like the Cowboys. They're not in Dallas; they're in Arlington. Well, there's cities in Arlington, that kind of thing, or like Golden State. They're not in San Francisco; they're in Oakland.
So where we would put the if we had an NBA team, would we put them in Socorro or
Well, that would be a little
Lower Valley Isleta?
Well, that's a little down the valley. I mean, the Northeast has got plenty of room where you can do that. I mean, Chaparral's out that way, but I mean, it can be done. I mean, like I said, like like where the Diablos used to play, the Cohen Stadium. I don't know if they're going to utilize it for something else or tear down.
That actually, what? That actually wouldn't be a bad spot. That would not be a bad spot. But
see that area by Trans Mountain. You got a lot of space that you can actually build another stadium if you wanted to. They were trying to, with the city of I don't know what's going on with those fools. Them trying to, what they were trying to do with that multi-purpose arena in downtown when there's no room to build it, because they're trying to force people out in Chihuahuita and parts of south of the south of the convention center. It's like, man, come on.
Okay, you don't have enough room.
It's like, bro, you trying to bring things downtown. I get that, but it's like you don't have much room, and to force people out of their homes that live in that area, it's like I just don't agree with it. It's a lot of that area. It's like, bro, you can put a lot more money into rehabilitating that area and giving it like giving that part of downtown a facelift because it could use it.
But they probably won't because they're stupid. Anyhow, but yeah, I named my team the El Paso Stars. So in the future, El Paso, if you ever get an NBA team, call it the El Paso Stars.
Well, I don't know about
yes.
I don't know about that. Well, dude, you forget about the Dallas Stars.
Well, no, but okay, but you can have that name in different teams and different leagues.
Well, I would hope so, unless you never know.
As long as you brand it differently, you could do
of course.
That. Or Estrellas if you want. Just so long as they don't call it the Estrellas. The El Paso Estrellas.
I bet you someone will. Definitely one of those newscasters like was it?
Just so long as we don't fucking do some stupid shit like the Chihuahuas. Look, I get it; they're a decent team and they won a championship. Blah 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 blah. But I still don't like that name. I wish they would have come up with something else.
Dude, the Sun Devils would have been perfect.
Yes, really something like that.
Something original, because Sun Devils, I mean, Sun City, Sun Devils would have been fine.
Nah, but
like the Diablos.
But at the same time, I bet you it's because they'd be like, oh, the Diablos probably would have been like,
the Diablos are the Devils, but these are the Sun Devils. So it's like,
yeah, but
it's different.
It is a little different, but then you have people that will try to make that an excuse to not name them that, or would not, whatever. They're already named the Chihuahuas, but in the future, I think the Stars would be a great name for the El Paso team if we ever get one.
And we do have the star on the mountain, so that's why
I said it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, as long as the Stars over here don't raise any hell over it,
Nah, they wouldn't. I mean, if you brand it differently.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an idea that would be nice to see that come to fruition.
Yeah, if it did. Orange and blue like the Miners. Just kidding. No, they probably find some. Orange and blue like the Miners. Orange.
Oh no, well, I mean that's something original to them and to the team, because that's the university's colors. I mean, anyway. Something to think about.
Okay, let's see. But yeah, those are just the games I've been playing. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of Oscar's content. Like he did a recent one where it's his cooking simulator. Dude, that shit was funny. Like, cause he started off like all calm and shit, and it's all cool. And out of nowhere, ese vato, like he's like starting to rush, like, oh shit. And next thing you know, like he gets everything on the plate. Okay, gotta put it in. He fucking moved way too fast and all the food flew off of the plate. I'm like, oh no. And then they canceled the order on the game, and he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. He just started like getting a bunch of canisters, put them all on the stove, and just started exploding the kitchen.
Wow, man.
That shit was funny, dude. You gotta watch that episode, and
I
I'll
will.
post a link in the description as well. But
Yeah,
that
I'll
shit
check.
was funny, man.
I'll check it out. I mean, like I said, I just wish. I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of music on my laptop that I've been trying to organize and then put on my backup, and that takes up a lot of space. So, and of course, these games take up a lot of space. So, if I can try to finish organizing this music, then I can possibly,
Well, and then once you get your CPU, I'm certain
yeah,
you'll
it's
be able
just
to work with it better.
I need a better external hard drive because this one I think I'm gonna need more than 1 terabyte, and I just don't think this one's cutting it anymore. I'll see how much to go for it. Maybe I'll get an external solid state because I heard those are good, but they may be a little pricey. I don't know. I'll look into it because yeah, I really need something way better than what I got right now.
Yeah. But anyhow, I mean, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, bro?
I mean, like I said, it's just been pretty hectic over here, just trying to make sure that I got my finances in order. But I will do my best to try to put out content on both my channels. Like I said, I'll try to see what I can do if I can at least play on my computer the way it is. Hopefully soon. So you'll be seeing content from me. It's just it's just one of these summers where it's a little difficult with the current situation, but I will do my best to pump out videos.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. You'll be fine. But anyhow, that's really all I had for this video. Let me know what you think. Suscríbete a mi canal y hasta el próximo, mi gente. Adiós, adiós, adiós y paz.
Adios.